And we are back. You guys won't know what the heck is going on tonight. Technical difficulties here at Tower. Uh, Tenor Tower. Tenor Towers. Okay, let's get straight into it with Jordan.
Hello, I've changed location again.
Totally.
You know how I like to keep you guessing.
Locations, haven't you?
Yeah, I've changed locations. Well, this is more comfortable.
Okay, so let's just let the guys know. We did a live, but you guys would never have seen it because I forgot to link up the live stream to the actual channel.
And you're supposed to be an old pro.
Wash your mouth out. Okay, so amongst other things, we are going to be talking everything Madonna tonight for the next hour. If you would like to join us and share some memories, please do in the comments section. Do you want to kick it off then? Because you're a much bigger Madonna fan than me, I think.
Well, I suppose the best way to kick it off is obviously it's her 65th birthday today. So it's shocking that she's made that age. Oh, look at that lovely birthday hat you've got.
Oh, I have to go back quite a bit. God, how big is this cone?
It's like the dunce in the corner. Where did you get that from? The pound shop?
I didn't get it from anywhere.
You didn't tea leaf it, did you?
Oh, I didn't steal it. One of my neighbour's children recently had their 5th birthday, and she couldn't wait to give me like freebies.
Did you have some birthday cake?
Yes, I did. It was very nice. It was rainbow unicorn.
How appropriate.
I loved it.
And do you think Madge would give you any of her birthday cake today?
Well, the thing is, right.
What's tickled you?
The thing is, right. Can you just imagine one of Madonna's birthday parties? Because it's not gonna be like oh, it's just a birthday party. Can you imagine what?
I don't know, because she's got a bit more low key as she's got older. When she was in like her 30s, yes, it would have been a big celebrity event, even in her 40s. But now I think she's getting a little bit more. She's selective, like she doesn't really mingle so much in the A-list stuff. She's moved anyway, hasn't she? She doesn't live in America now. So, unless she's moved back without me knowing. As far as I knew, she'd moved to Portugal.
Oh, okay. How do you want to start this off then?
Well,
just like flashcard.
I suppose you've got to start off with the fact is obviously not so much this decade, but we've had 4 decades of her at the top. And I suppose my first thing is, what's your first memory of her?
Certainly the cone.
The blonde ambition.
The bra, was it? It was just like, was it? I can't remember. I can't remember whether it was an actual bra and you had those kind of. I'm trying to be.
It was designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, that was a certain statement piece, wasn't it?
It's iconic Madonna, isn't it? The cone bra.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the first thing I remember as a kid.
Any songs that you remember when you were younger?
I remember whatever album it was. Papa Don't. Was it the
True Blue. Do you remember Papa
And I
Don't
also
Preach?
remember the Immaculate Collection as
Ah,
well.
so you were one of these people that remembers for the greatest hits, the Immaculate Collection.
Yeah. Was she still blonde?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I would have remembered that one.
My first memory of her was I remember must have been really small, so we're talking like 3 or 4. I remember on Top of the Pops doing Like a Virgin, and she had this bright pink wig, and she was dancing in quite a suggestive way, not ridiculously by today's standards, but 1984 it would have been quite sort of like, from what I remember, Steve Wright said it's one of the most sexiest dance routines he's ever seen on Top of the Pops, gyrating all over the place. And the other song I remember when I was really small was Material Girl, that iconic video of her in the pink dress with the Marilyn Monroe style thing with all the men in the suits. Yeah.
Stairs, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So they built it kind of with Marilyn Monroe very much as a theme, I think. Yeah, that song was really catchy. You know,
Some
very
boys
hooky.
kiss me, some boys hug me. I think they're okay.
Yeah, it's got the and then you've got those low voices from the backing vocalists. I can't get those notes, by the way. What was it they
in
used
a
to
material world, living
in a material. Oh, I can't
sounds
get
like
those.
VR for there.
So yeah, I certainly remember that one. I mean, what do we think? You know, because she's been like, you know, pretty much 4 decades, and when I think of Madonna, I think of a trailblazer, really breaking down those barriers that need to be broken.
Well, the word I would always say with Madonna when I think of is chameleon. She was forever changing the way she was and things like that, because obviously the first Madonna record that came out, well, in the UK, it was different. In America, was Holiday, which obviously has become like an anthem now, and obviously a sort of iconic pop song. But she didn't have as much control over her career back then, because the first album she did, like the Holiday, Lucky Star, Borderline, she wrote some of the songs and co-produced, but a lot of the songs were written by other people. So once the next album came on, Like a Virgin, she was again having other people write songs for her, but she started to write songs on her own and sort of produce. Then came True Blue, and it was like Like a Virgin turned her into like a massive pop megastar. True Blue turned her into like an icon of the 80s. I mean, it was like, it's still today, if you discount the Immaculate Collection, her biggest selling album of all time. So she had a hand in writing all the songs and producing. And if you listen to the True Blue album, to the Like a Prayer album, her voice had changed within a couple of years. If you listen to the songs on like a Virgin, like Material Girl, there's a bit of nasality to it. They're like Material. If you listen to like Live to Tell, Papa Don't Preach, La Isla Bonita, Open Your Heart, True Blue, that she's gone deeper, down an octave. Like Live to Tell, she's very like, a man can tell 1,000 lives. So she'd obviously changed her whole vocals and like.
I don't actually know what. Let's find out. Actually, I
think she's listed as soprano.
Really?
I could be wrong. I'm not a vocal coach, She could be an alto.
On a voice type. Okay, right. Madonna has a mezzo-soprano vocal range and is able to sing in a high pitch, childlike voice, as well as a deeper, more mature register. Her vocal style has been described as forced, forceful, and emotional. Which I think it is a very accurate description of
I think
some of the stuff she's done. Vocally.
Yeah, I think Rolling Stone once described her vocals as innocent but sexual.
Yeah, and you don't really like to put the two together, do you?
Well, she found it a compliment because remember, she said that one of her icons growing up, Madonna, was Ronnie Spector. And she said that she knew she could never sound like her because she had a completely different vocal range. But she said that she wanted to make her image the way Ronnie Spector sounded. But she said Ronnie Spector sounded hungry, trashy, sexy. And that's how she wanted to come across.
Yeah, rolled into. I mean, there's this debate: can Madonna even sing?
Well, that's a bit harsh.
You know, I think it's harsh. You know, because
you've reacted to some of her songs on your channel. Do you think she can sing?
I do. She may not be everyone's, and I think she would say herself. You know that. She's not got the best. I think she said in interviews.
No, she said it herself.
She's not got the best vocal range and But here's where the it tips up on itself. You know, because could you ever imagine that this woman could do musical theatre?
Well.
One of Andrew Lloyd Webber. I mean, they're all hard. There's not a single Andrew Lloyd Webber song that's easy to do, but Evita.
Well,
so many complex melodies, key changes. It's mad.
Well,
it's absolutely mad.
I was just going to talk about, because you were saying about the critique of the vocals. Let's be honest, Madonna has had a lot more critique about her acting than her music talent, because her film choices have been quite suspect. I mean, her first film, major box office, Desperately Seeking Susan, was amazing. It was a classic. It's still a classic now. Have you seen it?
Yeah. I saw it with you.
Yeah, and obviously it had one of her biggest singles from it, Into the Groove, so it's become a cult classic. She then went for a long period of dire movies like Shanghai Surprise, which I've seen, which wasn't very good. Who's That Girl, which I actually personally enjoy, but the critics didn't like it. Then she did Dick Tracy, which again the critics didn't mind. It wasn't too bad. Then she didn't have a successful film again, To A League of Their Own, which I think's one of her best films. I love the film. The theme song from it's one of her most haunting. But her film career, she's won a lot of Razzie Awards, the worst, and things like that. And there was a bit of but then you see with Evita, I think she was born to play that role.
Yeah.
And I think
I agree.
It was the first film role she did. Admittedly, she probably had vocal training, where she actually won kudos, like proper film awards for her acting. I know she won a Golden Globe. There was controversy because she wasn't nominated at the Oscars, but she did win Best Song at the Oscars. That was different. But Evita, I mean, I know a lot of people went for that role and didn't get it, and a lot of people hated her for that role because they missed out on it. But for me personally, and it's one of my favorite musicals of all time, I don't see anyone else playing her. Stage is different.
There's something about her performance.
Got the power to play Eva Peron.
She looked, if you put the actual Eva and Madonna, they look very similar. That there was a sense of real get up and go about Madonna's Eva.
She was given. Lloyd Webber gave her really. Oh, I watch it again and again. I've seen it, but Lloyd Webber gave her a lot of kudos for the fact that some of the songs in Evita are not easy to sing. Buenos Aires is really difficult, and she got it nail for nail. And he said he knows people who've got better voices who wouldn't be able to sing that song because they're not in time with the music. They haven't got and also let's forget Madonna's Italian American, so she can do the Latin side of Evita quite well and things like that. But some of those songs, they require emotion. I mean, you could get somebody with a booming voice sing them, but to actually convey them, like that end song, "You Must Love Me," when she's dying, that could have been so easily oversung, but there was just such an element of despair and like you just felt her emotion in that song.
And the orchestration in that, I mean, it's just as beautiful as what Madonna. Because let's be fair here. You know, two completely different worlds: musical theatre, diction.
And her diction was on point.
Word has to be heard.
Yes,
you know, it's very conversational. You know, and it's not easy with some of those Evita songs in impossible time signatures. Like and you've got to be able to it's really you know, even some of those slower ones, and then they shift and up to a new time you know what I'm trying to say, you know.
You not find though that when a musical has been a massive success in the West End or Broadway and it comes to film, the biggest thing for me is being believable as the character. I mean, I've watched some musicals and I didn't buy the actors or actresses or musicians playing them. A prime example was Russell Crowe in Les Mis. Didn't buy it, couldn't accept it. I mean, I can think of others, but I'm not going to waste the live stream doing that. But Madonna and Evita was just, it was the part of the piece that just fitted with the jigsaw well. It was a role she was made to play, along the lines of somebody like Liza Minnelli and Joel Grey in Cabaret, Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago. It was like gold, and it reaped the awards.
And you know, that doesn't happen that often with actors. You know, you take a huge risk sometimes with casting, and
well, also
you surprised a lot of people that Madonna could come from this world of pop,
especially dance pop, where she originally came from.
Well, yes, I mean, and transition into musical theatre. That, not being funny here, but you know, we can't have sloppy diction. We can't have you know the old slurs in the diction, and we can't have so I was. She looked Evita, she sounded Evita, and I think she did have vocal training for that, which makes a lot of sense, you know, because coming from one world, and if you know are going into another world, you would need a lot of training just to satisfy, you know, the man at the top, Andrew Lloyd Webber. You know, because you don't want to ever ruin one of these shows. You know,
but it's funny because we're talking about the influence Madonna had. She's a very shrewd businesswoman because she's always tapped into what the current trends are. Like, she knew when she came out, video was so important. For me, she is the queen of MTV. I mean, obviously, you and I would have been very small in the 80s, so we wouldn't have remembered so much, but more in the 90s and the noughties remembered. But video was the thing, and her videos were iconic all throughout the decades. They had a story, they caused controversy. And as I said, I mean, obviously she'd had minor controversies with Like a Virgin, because obviously the sexuality of it, and Papa Don't Preach was controversial because of the Pope and encouraging girls to get pregnant, keeping their babies. And the Open Your Heart video was very controversial in the strip club, but it was all shattered when she released, probably for me, one of her greatest albums and probably one of the best singles she ever did, Like a Prayer. The controversy around that was just everywhere.
Yeah, it's I mean, if I can remember it right, the song, even before it gets going, you just have this God echo.
There's two versions.
That's the one I remember.
And there's the other one on the album where it's got that, and the church door goes shut, and then it goes ooh, the choir start doing the oohs. It's an oh god, I'm getting goosebumps hearing it.
Yeah, we're just talking about it, and like, yeah, she's in the room, she's in the space.
I just, that Like a Prayer for me, an artist like Madonna,
really like emotional
about masterpiece, because it's also timeless. Because when you listen to it now, it still sounds current. It hasn't aged. It's still a relevant song.
And vocally speaking, it's a great build-up. So when you're getting into it, you don't ever want to over sing it.
I mean, have you listened to any of the Like a Prayer album, like the whole album?
Have I?
Well,
I'm not sure.
The album's probably a lot of the critics called it her first great album, because it's got the songs on there like A Prayer, Express Yourself, Cherish, Dear Jessie. But the album, the songwriting and the subject matter is very dark. But she talks about the death of her mother in there and her abusive relationship with Sean Penn. And some of the songs, the lyrics are very poignant. Like Oh Father, that's one of her most, she talks about her bad relationship with her dad and her bad relationship with her husband. And that album to me is one of the best of the 80s, because you've got the gospel side of Like a Prayer, and then you've got Express Yourself, where she was really heavily influenced by funk, like Sly and the Family Stone. And like then with Cherish, comes back to her early influence of Ronnie Spector. She was inspired to write that by listening to songs like Be My Baby. And you can hear that in Cherish, the 60s girl group, sort of the backing vocals, Cherish the joy. And then Dear Jessie, she was inspired by Abbey Road, the Beatles, and like Sgt. Pepper, that sort of psychedelic pop and things like that. So she'd gone from like a pop dance diva with like The Holiday back in 84 to transform herself to a credible artist. And that takes a lot of talent, whether you think the singer is an amazing singer or not.
I mean, I think, you know, she's never claimed that, you know, she's taken a lot of stick that this Madonna can't sing thing has followed her around like, you know, a second shadow almost. And you know, if she was that bad, surely we wouldn't still be talking about her. She may not be your cup of tea vocally.
I feel a bit.
I don't think it's fair to throw her under the bus.
I felt a bit of Madonna. She was unlucky in the fact that she came out the same decade, as people like Whitney Houston, and obviously in the 90s you had Mariah and Celine, and because they were obviously singers and belters and vocally amazing, you get that comparison. But you see, obviously, Madonna's more into like the songwriting, producing, plays the instruments. I mean, a lot of people don't know that she can play the guitar and play the drums. She did it when she was in a band, and she had complete control over her career. Whereas somebody like, not that I'm throwing shade on Whitney, because I'm a massive fan of Whitney and things like that. Rest in peace. Whitney's career was, she didn't write her own songs or produce them. It was all about her manager, her father. They all controlled everything. Her husband. But for me, somebody like Madonna, I'm going to now go on to the 90s, where the controversies would start, because I think this is where people would rather. Oh, have I made you go to sleep?
No, I'm listening. I'm focused.
No, what I was going to say.
I'm surprised I am focused, because today's heat is sweltering.
Well, because obviously the divas was the big thing of the 90s, so Madonna didn't fit into that category, so she would have had to have been successful another way. And obviously the 90s started off with Vogue, which again is one of her most iconic.
I love that. So, you know, it's so hooky, isn't it? It's like, as soon as it starts, no matter where you've got to like kind of. I don't know the kind of movements,
but this
I'm not that committed.
But this is where I don't think Madonna gets enough credit, because I think she is an amazing ambassador for LGBT plus, because she has done so much with her videos. I mean, Vogue obviously contained a lot of gay dancers, but with her songs like Justify My Love, which was one of the first videos to be banned on MTV, she had a lot of sex in it, but she had men on men, women on women. And a lot of people in America wanted the video banned because they said it was obscene, to which her response was, they're quite happy to watch films of people be blown up and attack people and rape people and things like that. They have an issue with two men snuggling and two women kissing. What's the big deal? And then we move on to an even controversial part, the Erotica album. The sex
Oh, yes.
In the silver aluminium.
What's with Mother? It wasn't.
Well, this is the thing. I actually think I remember my mum banned me from buying the Erotica album at the time. She said it because it was parental guidance. But again, for me, in terms of writing and producing, it's one of her best, because she goes over a lot of themes. All right, the Erotica, I mean, it's tame by compared to today's standards, but like some of the songs like Deeper and Deeper, she writes about a man's coming out story to his family. People don't listen to the songwriter. Bad Girls, written about a prostitute who wants to leave her life but can't, and things like that. And for me, like, I mean, she did a cover of Fever by Peggy Lee, and she put her own stamp on it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And one of
I went out to Woolies and got the cassette.
I'm surprised you were allowed.
I think I had to do it under.
Mind you, Fever's not that controversial. Yeah,
but I'm not being followed.
But the Erotica album, she was panned by the critics for like being over sexual. Feminists hated her for it, saying that she was all about sex. But I think people need to listen to these albums and listen to all the power was on Madonna. Like the Sex Book, they all said that she was allowing men to treat her like, I won't swear, but she was basically the object in it. And she actually said, no, I'm in control. I'm choosing to do this. I'm the one with the whip. I'm the one with the harness. I'm the one doing in control. And this is what I'm saying. So she completely, people
can actually hear us, you know. Oh no. Look with your eyes. Who's got hold of the whip? I can actually like really hear her having that conversation.
Also, I love the Erotica album. Was one of my all-time favourite Madonna ballads is on that, Rain, which I love. It's one of the best ballads I think she's ever done. But then
I do remember vaguely, because it's been ages since I last
93 Rain came out. She had short blue hair in the video, and it was all in
I do remember Deeper and Deeper, because the melody was really interesting to me.
I can't help falling in love. I fall deeper, deeper the further I go.
Yeah. And obviously I remember Fever. That was really slow.
Do you remember Erotica?
Yeah, that speech inflection. It was
it's almost trip hop, isn't it? It's almost like going into the hip hop rap world because it's done through speaking, but it was done in such a sexy way. I mean, for me, no one else could have sung that song. But as I said, she then decided to tame her image down a bit after that, and we went into Bedtime Stories, which she decided to go sort of more R&B. She sort of co-worked with Babyface, and then she wrote one of my favourite of her songs, which is Secret, which she wrote about a transsexual coming out and realising they were in the wrong sex, hence the title Secret. And for me, it's it's a dark video, but again, that intro with the guitar, that dun, 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 dun. It's just going into another genre of music. And then she was working with Bjork and that, so she's always kept with current producers. And then obviously we went into Evita, which we've talked about, which sort of softened her image again. But then we move on to what I consider probably her best album of all time, and what brought her back was the Ray of Light album, the goth Madonna, Frozen. That was
yeah. And I loved her look. You know, she looked cute as a goth mother. Mama Goth Madge. She sold that.
I can't remember who it was.
Some goths, like, you know, would disagree with me, you know, but yeah, the image really.
She did a live performance of that in Japan, and I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's one of your rivals, the Honest Vocal Coach, because I don't really pay too much attention to her. But
and that's where we're going to leave this live stream. How dare you mention another?
No, but all I'll say is
channel on this channel. How dare you?
I don't watch her anyway, but somebody else said that's her best live vocal of all time, Frozen in Japan. But it's almost classically trained, that song. That bit, that
there are some really kind of nice placements actually that are you know a joy to listen to actually.
Well, she was inspired by the Kabbalah for that, the Jewish mysticism. So that plays a lot on the songs and things like that. But a lot of people rate Ray of Light as her best album. It was the first album that she actually won Grammys for, having been bypassed by Grammy, which I think is awful.
Is that the same album that Don't Tell Me came from?
No, that's coming up in a minute. As I said, yeah, that contains Ray of Light, Power of Goodbye, but they rate it as one of her all-time bests. So going back to what you were saying, what is the thing you've got about Don't Tell Me? Because you've had a thing about that song for years.
Yeah, I think it was the first time when I really started appreciating music.
Tell me
college.
Love isn't true. It's just.
And I remember the music video so well, because it's like
line dancing.
This kind of would be like country dance. The guy is hot, you know, so
That's the only reason you watched it.
that's gonna get my attention. But it was so I loved the way it was synced because all I remember right is
oh no, what we're gonna do
is that, and then she's doing all that. I'm not going to embarrass myself in front of 15 K subscribers, but it was so tight. You know, the music video, and I think she played the guitar also on the music video as well.
That came from the music album, which was again a massive success. And that's where she was going into sort of different genres, more European. She's always said, Madonna, that she feels more European than American. And the European audience has always accepted her better than the American.
Yeah.
But that was...
I was just going on to say, you know, I just remember so fondly, actually, the intro to Don't Tell Me, because it's so detached. The notes are so detached. It's, and then you get a pregnant pause, and then it continue, and oh,
do you remember the music video though with Ali G? Ride the Punani, ride.
No.
Oh, come on. You don't remember with music of Ali G? The video? Music.
I may do. It's been... Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record.
Oh, you remember that?
That is really killing my chords at the moment. and yes, because it was really up tempo, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was, yeah, I do remember music actually, and also what other ones do I remember?
Well, we're going to move on after that to American Life, and that was an interesting album because that's... do you remember the song American Life where she raps in it?
No, I must have
2003.
Yeah, right.
I knew you were partying a lot.
Yeah. I was otherwise engaged.
You were going for your early Amy Winehouse phase then, so...
Well, yeah. You may joke, but I think that's when the crossover for me happened.
Well, she came out 2003, Amy Winehouse. So that album didn't have the success of the others because she tried a few different... rap was in American Life. She did Hollywood, which I loved. She did that infamous performance at MTV. Well, she's done 2 infamous performances. Well, actually, no, I correct myself, 3 MTV Video Awards. She's been the queen. But she did the first one in '84 in the wedding dress, like a virgin, where she arrived on the stage. And Cher even said that she'd never seen anything so erotic on the stage, and that's coming from Cher. That must be saying something. She'd obviously done the 1990 MTV Vogue, and the sort of Louis XV Marie Antoinette look and things like
that. Was so naughty.
And then she did the infamous 2003 with Britney and Christina and Missy Elliott, where she kissed Britney and Christina on the stage, and it was big news. Because when she kissed Britney, it went straight to Justin Timberlake's face because they just split up, and he did not look overly impressed. It was an iconic pop culture moment.
Yeah.
And then that album, then she obviously worked with Britney, Me Against the Music, had some success, but then she had a massive pop comeback in 2005, sampling an ABBA song with Hung Up.
Now, that album I remember.
Confessions on a Dance Floor.
Yeah. I can recall the album art, the album front cover.
Very 70s disco, wasn't it?
Yeah. Glitter balls. And yeah, I remember Hung Up.
Sorry.
Yes, Sorry.
Jump, Get Together.
Weird, it kind of... I can't remember it offhand, but it had a.
It started off with lots of different languages when she starts going, "Perdoname," and she'll speak like sorry in different languages. And he goes,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. I've heard it all before. I've heard it all before.
Oh yes,
I've heard
that's
it
it.
all
I've
before.
heard it all before. Why am I still in my chest voice?
You're still in B. Arthur mode.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I mean, hung up. Time goes by
The hook on
so
that is
slowly,
amazing.
and the production on that. Yeah. It was amazing.
Well, ABBA are very cagey about letting people cover their or sample their work. So they knew that Ben and Bjorn must have heard what she did and thought, this is going to be a monster hit. We want the money off this. Because do you know Hung Up is still her big, it's still her biggest hit today worldwide.
Every little thing that you say, I'll do, I'll hang up. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those songs. Isn't it amazing? We've been doing this live stream for 41 minutes. Not a single comment.
Wow. Maybe
I
people
don't think that's ever happened.
Maybe people will come on after or later and comment.
Can I just be real with you guys? I don't go back to live streams to check the comments. It's just something I don't do. You know. So, but you do, don't you?
Well, I do. I like to keep abreast
and see. Yeah. So you know. I suppose we should talk about the riff of all riffs. Because I feel as though people want Madonna and Lady Gaga to be best buddies, best friends, and they're just not, are they?
I don't think.
I mean, I think they're two separate artists as well, and you can't force that kind of and manufacture that kind of, you know.
I don't think Madge actually hates Lady Gaga. I think.
I hope not.
No, I don't think she does. I think she. I mean, this reductive thing, that interview that she said back in 2011, I think she was playing up a bit to the cameras for that, because I do think. Well, the question you've got to ask yourself is there similarities between Express Yourself and Born This Way? Don't go for second best, baby. Put your love to your test.
I mean,
I don't think I don't know. I don't think it's that bad.
I mean, if Madonna really wanted to make a thing of it, she could have, like so many artists and singers, groups, bands, taken it to court.
Exactly.
So I don't think. I mean,
I think
really.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think it could be more of a case that she might just be a bit peeved with the constant comparisons, and sometimes she might make a sort of offhand shady comment. But I don't think they've been spotted out in Hollywood together. But she was asked would she ever do a duet or work with Lady Gaga, and her response was, "It hasn't occurred to me, but never say never."
Well, yeah. I mean, Madonna is listed as one of Lady Gaga's inspirations.
Mm.
you know, and idols. So you know, but the thing is, you know, if you're reading the same list as I am,
Yes.
she also lists Freddie Mercury, David Bowie, you
Elton
know,
John.
yeah, Elton, you know, so um, I mean, in an ideal world, you would want the two to be.
I think a duet between them would be very interesting. But I do think they're different artists because Lady
Yeah, they
Gaga
are.
is
Yeah,
more of a
I
singer
agree.
and she's a pianist.
Yeah.
But then it's funny because I always remembered about Cher and Madonna had a bit of a feud going back to the 80s and things like that. They didn't really get on very well. She'd made some comments about Madonna and things like that, but then they sort of buried the hatchet for a bit. So, but then again, it's two strong women coming together, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean that's a very good point. Uh, um,
Did you hear the joke that Cher said that apparently they asked Cher how did she spend it was either Madonna's 50th or 60th birthday, and she said getting a colonic. And she said that she didn't mean it as a nasty thing, but that's what she was doing, and it all blew up.
she, she's certainly, you know, in terms of, you know, I go back to what you were saying about, you know, what she's done in
Mm,
support with the LGBT plus
mm.
community. You know, she's broken down a lot of barriers.
Well, one
You
of the
know, and
reasons she
got
left.
that conversation.
Mm,
You know,
she left
happening.
America because she didn't like Donald Trump's stance on LGBT plus. She didn't like it, so she thought, no, I'm not living in a country like that.
Mm.
But she is an icon because she's very overtly sexual. I remember Cyndi Lauper stood up for it because a lot of people don't realize they've sort of been friends since the 80s because Cyndi Lauper jokes that Madonna once called her an evil cousin. And she said that she found that quite amusing because obviously she was very out there, Cyndi, of all her colours and whatever. And she called out a journalist for being a female journalist for being misogynist because this woman said that Madonna was too sexual. She wasn't a good role model for women. And Cyndi Lauper said to the woman, "Have you got a Prince album? Have you got a Mick Jagger album?" And this woman said yes. And she said, "So what's the difference? Why are they allowed to be sexual and why is a woman not allowed to be sexual?" And she said, "You're a chauvinist," she said to this woman. She says, "Why can they do it?" And she said that because they were compared a lot when they first came out at the same time, like Madonna was always called the sexy one, and Cyndi was obviously the more brainier one with her songwriting and whatever. And she goes, "So you say to one child, 'Oh, you're very pretty,' and you say to the other one, 'You're very smart.'" And Cindy's comeback was, "So what does that mean? The child that's smart's ugly and the child that's pretty stupid?" She said, "No. You said you can be sexy, you can be talented, you can be whatever you want."
Do you know what? I absolutely love Cyndi Lauper. I think she is so on that ball.
Tina Turner was a massive fan of Madonna, the late Tina. She said that she loved the fact that Madonna was in control of her whole career. I remember her saying that she found Madonna one of the best performers she's ever seen. And she said that she loved seeing her be so bold and powerful on stage and things like that. And so for someone like Tina Turner to say that, that's a massive compliment.
I mean, I'm smiling because I'm thinking of that Tina and Cher clip.
Oh, what, the laughing one?
Yeah.
I think it sucks.
It's like that is gonna. I like to take that as my last image of like Tina. So what do we think? Wrapping this up now, with because again, she's. I think she rather likes, all the recently she's had the old PS plastic surgery, and everyone has had
a pop,
and she flew back with something to say about that, and I haven't got a problem with it. It's not me.
No,
I wouldn't do it even if I had the money. But if you want to do it, who am I? Who at the end of the day, who am I? Who am I?
I knew you were going to do that.
I'm that kind of obvious, am I? I'm. It's not for me to say.
I think it's a bit sad that Madonna's now, a lot of people call her tragic, and that she's become a bit of a laughing stock, like mutton dressed as lamb, they've all said, looks ridiculous. What I'd love Madonna to do is come back with a massive pop album. And I think she needs to look at somebody, even though she doesn't need to look at anybody really, because she will always probably be the queen of pop. I mean, her success, she's still the best-selling worldwide, Guinness Book of Records, but look at somebody like Kylie Minogue, who's come back this year and had a massive hit with that Padum Padum. And she's in her 50s, she's 55. And she's shown these younger artists like Billie Eilish and Olivia Rodrigo, Dua Lipa, people like that. I've still got it. And I believe Madonna could do that, but she needs to focus more on her music than this.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Oh, we have a comment towards the end.
Towards the end. Let's see. Yeah, we're just doing what we're doing. Thank you, Jessica. I thought that was going to be a Madonna comment, actually. And but hey, you do what you do, don't you?
So, well, before we obviously wrap this up, if you could pick, I won't do singles because that's too difficult. She said too many. But if I said to you, do you want to do a top 5 or a top 3 of her best albums of all time? Could you list 5?
Because...
Or do you want to do a top 3?
Top 3, probably.
So what 3 Madonna albums for you are just pop masterpieces?
Well, the first one that I would probably say would be Collection.
The Immaculate Collection.
Yeah, that's what I was trying.
Any reason?
Well, kind of. For me, anyway, that's the first one that I remember having. So I would,
so for memories,
yeah.
So can you name 2 more albums?
Probably. I do remember True Blue.
True Blue,
because that's quite iconic as album covers go. And
one more.
I would probably say Ray of Light, because I just remember that and being aware of the music that came from the album.
Yes.
So yeah, those would probably be my top 3.
I'm going to be greedy and do a top 5 because I want to, because I'm more of a fan. No, my top 5 Madonna albums would be True Blue, Like a Prayer, Ray of Light, Erotica. Oh, that's a push. I'll say Confessions on the Dance Floor because it's a classic album, but I was umming and ahhing between the Evita soundtrack.
Oh,
but I suppose it's a soundtrack, not an album.
You've upset all the, you know.
I could do a top 10 of Madonna.
Yeah.
So, because I could include a few more of her albums in that, but as I said, yeah, those would be my favourites.
Yeah. I'm glad that we, because so many, iconic superstars of music have unfortunately left us. I'm so glad that she's still with us.
Yes.
And
she's definitely our era, isn't she?
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm not as much of a fan as you, but I can't fault her in Evita.
No.
And the way that was shot as well, quite dark.
Yes.
Dark shots. It wasn't like an Ethel Merman production where it's glorious cut. It is really almost French nuance. You know that where everything's subdued, and and I love that about it actually. And it makes me want to go and blast. No, I can't because I've got filming to do.
Oh dear, you don't want to go and blast
tomorrow, but after I'm gonna be straight on YouTube Premium Music and doing the Evita set. That is so good. So good. And she understood what it took.
If you want to watch Madonna in a good comic film, watch Who's That Girl? Because she's got an almost sort of Betty Boop type comedic timing that some of it's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jessica Riley's put another comment.
Do you have any Madonna CDs? If so, do you listen to them? I've got my CDs right down below, and I'm sure so.
Oh, no Madonna in there.
Not yet, but I'm not even like
Voodoo Child. Bit of Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, love him. Absolutely love him. You didn't see that.
Who was that? I missed that. Oh, your goblins wouldn't like that. Molly, you're in danger, girl. There's certainly a variety there.
Of course.
Oh no.
No.
I'm looking for Homer Simpson.
Do you know what? We could be here all night. Let's just say, because I've got about 300, 400 CDs. So, I think it's really sad that we're in a digital age where you don't get something to hold. You can't cuddle a computer, can you?
Well,
I love, like, I understand it's there for ease of access. I understand that, but that's why I love vinyls.
I love that. There's something historic about vinyl.
And I love the way it smells as well. The wax.
Yeah, oh, there's something about it's very sort of like you feel like you should be at a disco back in the day.
Or at a diner.
Well, a diner, yes. A jukebox.
Do you remember when we used to every time we went to London,
Ed's Diner.
Yeah.
Do they still? I think they still exist.
I don't know. Well, the one in Canterbury's closed. I'm sure that one. Was it in Canterbury or?
And there was one in Canterbury. Jessica Riley's just said, "Where's everyone else in your live stream?"
I don't know.
Good
I don't
question.
know. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so got on a CD hunt. Yeah, we don't know.
They'll probably come after.
Yeah. I mean, you can. There's only one watching. Okay, enough. Thank you, Jordan. For your. I feel so unmotivated now. For your expertise with Madonna. I'm sure she is having a good time.
Be interesting to see if you shared this to her page on Twitter.
It's not called Twitter now, is it? It's called X.
Oh, I do apologise. Yes, the X.
Yeah, it's called X now. It's like a black.
We'll share it to her X thing then, because I'd be interested.
Say that it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
X. Oh, we miss you, Twitter. we miss you. Okay, when are we next doing a live stream? Do we know?
I will let you know. But as I said, I'm hoping that when you upload this to YouTube, more people pay attention to it. Because it should be trend.
The thing is, I don't know my demographic audience.
Yes.
So if most of my core audience are in Europe,
yes, it could be a different time.
Yeah. So I don't like. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not taking it personally. Not this week. But yeah, we will see you guys next time when we speak about. I've really got to get my act together because I've got filming to do, and like, good job I've got my. Right.
Well, it's had some reactions on Twitter. On YouTube. I've just checked our stream. 4 people have liked it.
Oh, okay.
So people have watched
it. Take it back. We take it back. Everything we just said. Take it back. It is seriously, guys. It is a question of when, because this channel, like, some of the places, I only notice when you know, I get DMs and, you know, people say, oh, I really love your channel. Lots of love from Japan. And I think, wow, you don't ever think. I do the reactions and like I never think, oh, I wonder who this is going out to. I think it's best not to, because you could drive yourself like quite,
exactly.
you
And you
know.
don't want to do that.
No, and it's a nice surprise when you do get DMs and emails from Finland and Sweden, Iceland.
It'd be nice if Madge
Oh,
sent us one herself.
sorry.
Nice if Madge sent us one herself, saying thank you.
Yeah, come on, Madge. Come on. I mean, we've been doing this for an hour and 6 minutes. Don't be so selfish all the time.
Oh, one quick thing.
I,
Jessica
I,
Wiley asks, how long, Jaybird, have you known Nat? I can tell you, Jessica Riley. I've known Nat 15 years.
and it don't seem a day too
Prison sentence,
long.
isn't it? 15
What?
years. That's a prison sentence.
Yes. Is it really that long?
15 years.
15 years. And
I met you not long after. Actually, isn't that interesting? I met you not long after Madonna had her 13th UK #1 with Justin Timberlake and Timbaland, 4 minutes, the TikTok one. TikTok, TikTok, TikTok.
oh, yeah.
Hard
It would
Candy.
have
Give it
been,
to me. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? 15 years, her last #1.
because I knew Jacob slightly longer. You know, he was on the scene before we started chatting. So yeah.
So Jacob's 16, 17 years.
Yeah, he would be. So yeah, so thank you guys. I mean,
I just
people watch.
realised that you've known someone else 15 years, rest in peace, but I won't mention her name.
Sorry?
You've known somebody else if she was still alive 15 years, but we won't mention her. So
I have no idea who you're.
think and cancel Christmas.
Oh my god.
That would have been 15 years.
Oh no.
No, I won't speak ill of the dead. So yes, I heard that. She'll come to you like a ghost in Christmas.
Okay. And on that note, thank you. And we will be back doing some more tenor talks later on. Okay, thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.